Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This video is long overdue, right? The in-depth, really good tutorial on the Fireball Rocket Loon attack. Now, I cannot tell you how many people I've had reach out to me in the game or in my Discord or in the YouTube channel or knock on my door in real life like the FBI wanting me to do this attack. So here I am. I'm finally doing it. If you're new to the channel, anytime I wear pink and I'm pinked out in the room, that means we're here to do a tutorial and we're here to learn. And let's go ahead and get into it. The army you're looking at right now, this is kind of the cookie cutter, one-size-fits-all army that you use in Legends League. It kind of checks all the boxes a little bit. But if you're preparing for an attack in CWL or War and you have time to plan for a base, you can always add an extra invis in or take one out if you don't need it, right? You can alter the army here or there. If you need a few more rocket balloons, maybe take out the E-Titan or something if you think you can get the CC. But let me go give you a brief rundown of the army. Let's look at heroes first. You definitely, absolutely, 100% want the Phoenix on the King. Now, the Giant Gauntlet's also one that I would say is necessary, and you can either do the Rage or the Spiky Ball. Rage or the Spiky Ball are both really good. I do like the Spiky Ball in case I get a double invis base. There's a trick I'll show you guys later. With the Queen, you can switch between really any pet that you want, because the Unicorn's going to be on the Warden. I'll explain that later, but you have to have the Giant Arrow and the Healer Puppet. Those are necessary. The reason I want the Unicorn on the Warden is because we start every single Fireball attack off with a Warden Walk, and the Unicorn's really the only pet that's going to consistently stay behind the Warden and not die really early or draw the CC. That's what we don't want. On the Warden Walk, we do not want to draw the CC. Also, absolutely necessary, Fireball and Rage Gem. Fireball. If your Fireball is not level 27, take an extra Earthquake. Simple as that. If it's level 27, take 3. If it's not, take 4. Royal Champion. This is the best combination. You can also use the Seeking Shield and the Rocket Spear. You don't need to. Let me quickly, and I mean really quickly, go over the army. The 13 rocket balloons are there to take out defenses on the outside of the base to make the Fireball a little bit easier to guide to the building that you want. You also have the 4 invisibility spells to get the defenses that are a little bit further in the base that are going to be harder to get with the Warden Walk. I will give you some live examples through that so that everything that I'm explaining to you, you can see in person. 5 healers for the Warden Walk. Electro Triton is purely for the CC. If they have like mass witches or minions or archers or something like that, that's what the E-Titan's for. We do not take a poison with this army. We have an Ice Golem, a couple of Root Riders for a smash, some cleanup troops. I take a couple of extra random wall breakers for just testing for Teslas or other things like that. You don't need to take them if you don't want to. If you think you can get value with something else, that's fine, but I like to have these. You always want the Yetis, and you want the Yeti Bomb in your CC. That's definitely necessary too. You're going to be blimping sections every once in a while, log launcher sometimes to get to the middle of the base. You need something that can take out a compartment or the town hall, and this is kind of the best CC, like one size fits all, right? This is the best CC for that. Now, let's go ahead and just look at a base. Let's just start off looking at a base. Now, let me pull up my cool little drawing pen tool thingy. Now, sometimes when I do this, the screen gets a little laggy. I don't know why. I'm not very technical, so I apologize. But you don't really need to see everything super in depth to really, like at 60 FPS, 1080p. You don't need that in order to really see what's going on. Now, there are going to be 2 types of bases that you're going to come across with the Fireball army. Like, just completely ignore anti-3-star bases or diamond bases or box bases or anti-2-star bases. Ignore all of that. There are going to be bases where you get the town hall with the Fireball and bases that you do not get the town hall with the Fireball. That makes it a little bit easier to think of, right? So this is a base where it makes sense to get the town hall, because if you hit the town hall, well, so you don't always have to hit the town hall with the Fireball, right? You can hit something that will hit the town hall from like the radius of the Fireball, right? Which is a much safer, less risky thing to do with the Warden. So like on this base, for example, a fantastic target here is going to be, let's go ahead and pick yellow. Yeah, yellow's great. This multi-archer tower here, right? That's going to get the Clan Castle, Town Hall, Scatter, Monolith, freaking the Expo here even, air defense and stuff. Okay, I'm going to delete this before it lags completely out of existence. Okay, anyway, I don't know if my computer sucks. It's really expensive, so I don't know why. Anyway. So when you're looking for like the value on the Fireball, just if you can get the Town Hall and the CC, that's almost always worth getting the Town Hall. But you also get a few tier 1 defenses with the fireball on this base, right? Let me walk you through like my mental process, what I do when I am going to launch my fireball. Obviously, if we want to hit that archer tower, it makes sense to put our warden down here at the bottom of the base, right? Let's just imagine that W stays there so I don't lag out. Anyway, let's pick black for this. When I put my warden down here, let's just listen to the words here. And we want to hit that archer tower. What I kind of do imaginary in my head is I draw a line going across the base. Yeah, right across that archer tower there. And I know that everything on the warden side of that needs to die. So with my rocket balloons, pink is going to be rocket balloons, right? I can get like this wizard tower. I can get maybe this mortar. We're going to need to get one of these 4 buildings because you can invis 3 of them with an invis, but not 4. Might as well get 2 buildings, actually. It just makes sense. And then the blue is going to be the invisibility spells. Now, you can invis both of these buildings with 1, both of these buildings with 1, and then the maybe the eagle and the monolith. Actually, the monolith needs to go down too. So this is kind of my mental thing that I do in my head. Holy lag. When I'm looking at a base and I want to launch my fireball. Now, quick tip, if there are lots of builder huts around the town hall, you have to pull this combination off very quickly or else they'll repair it. Or you can position the earthquakes in a way to where the builders repair themselves before the fireball hits the town hall, right? You can do that too. And actually, as I'm looking at it, 3 of the builder huts are going to die from the fireball. So you really only have to earthquake the other 2. Side note, when you are doing your earthquakes and stuff, the town hall has to be hit with all 3 earthquakes, right? But the only other building in the entire game that takes more than 1 earthquake to go down is the eagle, and we're not worrying about that, right? So as long as all 3 earthquakes hit the town hall, you're good to go. And because of that, I like to spread my earthquakes out a little bit so that I maximize the damage from the fireball, because the fireball radius is bigger than an earthquake radius. So you have to spread the earthquakes out a little bit in order to maximize the damage. So I'm going to put like 1 earthquake like right here. I'm going to put like 1 earthquake up here and then like 1 earthquake like down over here. So that way this goes down, the CC goes down, town hall goes down, all this. And then kind of really the last thing that you're looking for at the beginning of the base is there a place where I can set my queen to use the giant arrow and snipe the town hall very easily. Literally all the buildings are lined up on all 4 corners, so you can stick her at any corner and it's not hard to hit the town hall with the giant arrow. Very easy, rather. So when I get a base like this, let's just say I load this up real quick, bam, starting right now, I'm looking, okay, the archer tower is kind of an easy target to get. I need to put my warden, okay, so the archer tower, easy to get. I need to put my warden down here. I'm going to rocket balloon these buildings, this building, and then I'm going to invis here, I'm going to invis here, I'm going to invis here. I actually need to get that with rocket balloons too, and then I'll be able to get the multi-arch tower, and then I'm going to put my queen down over here to get the giant arrow across. I need to put the earthquake. So I'm kind of doing that all in my head in the 30 seconds, right? Let's just go ahead and just pull this off real quick. I don't have any extra siege machines, but we're just going to do the fireball part, and then I will get into the next part of the attack after I kind of show you. What in the world? Okay, I need to switch my friendly army. Got a bunch of sneaky goblins and stuff in my friendly army. Okay, you know what? May as well just change it right now, I guess, while we're here. Let's see. I don't really know which ones I had. Beep, beep, beep. That works. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put our warden down here, right? Make sure you put a cocoa loon down so that all your heroes don't die to traps. And remember, we're just going to get a couple of these buildings with the rocket balloons here. Once that goes down, we can get that mortar. Now, one thing you have to be careful for, if you put 4 rocket balloons down at once, it will aggro the warden onto them. If you put 3, it does not. So that's something to keep in mind. See, I spread my earthquakes out, put the queen there, and I giant arrow across the base, and I get everything. By the way, let me show you one quick tip as well. Let me end this, and I will watch the replay, and I'll show you one trick that I did that I didn't mention before. Let me hurry and load up. Once I put the invis spells down, I will do this. Okay, as I'm looking at this base, one building that does not get hit by the fireball, but you can still maximize the amount. There's like so much potential if you pay attention. Wow, that's kind of hard to say. To all of the little things in this attack. This spell tower right here does not get hit by the fireball, but there's still a way that you can get it down. 2 earthquake spells and the giant arrow will kill a spell tower. So if you get this building with 2 earthquakes, which I did, I put 1 here and I put 1 here. So both of those are in range of that. The giant arrow will kill that spell tower, and you will see that go down here. Oh, let's just watch this juicy fireball, right? So you can see my 2 earthquakes there. I put 1 at the bottom just to get that expo at the bottom, and I actually didn't put it far enough down. You'll see that. But I get that spell tower. If you put all your earthquakes down, like right Here, right, you're not going to get that spell tower, and you're going to have to deal with that poison tower later on in the raid. So you could, I mean, there are so many little teeny things like this that you can use in order to maximize the value of the fireball and make it really easy for the smash. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to just do a cut real quick here while I go over the next part of the attack so that it's all fresh in my mind and I can teach you guys a little bit better. But that's the start of the fireball attack, which is by far the most important part of the attack. Really quickly, let's look at a base where it makes sense not to get the Town Hall. I mean, you do get the Town Hall and the CC on this one. So actually, really, if you got the Town Hall and the CC, like if you got that Wizard Tower there or something that gets both, that's still a great fireball. But double invis bases are really annoying if you don't get either of the invis areas with the fireball. So let me kind of show you a trick. And there is an awesome synergy with this army between the spiky ball, the giant arrow, and the fireball, and then the 3 earthquakes that you have. If you don't need to use all 3 earthquakes on the Town Hall or like the Eagle or anything, for example, you can use 1 earthquake with the fireball, and then you have 2 more earthquakes where you can either snipe spell towers or other defenses that are kind of annoying to deal with, or you can use them with the spiky ball like what I'm going to show you here. On this example, I'm going to start with the Warden Walk, and I will get this bottom invis section taken care of. I'm just going to get the X-Bow, and that'll deal with most of it. I won't get this Inferno down here, but that's enough value. I don't want to, I would rather have a safe fireball where I don't get the Inferno than a risky fireball where I do and have my Warden die early, because time can be an issue if your Warden dies. So, and then on the second attack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my King with the spiky ball, break him into this compartment up here, and we are going to use the spiky ball paired with the remaining 2 earthquakes to knock out this invisibility section there. So, let's go ahead and start the attack. I'll kind of show you what we're doing here, and then you'll kind of have an idea of how you can split the earthquakes and the hero equipment up to get like the most amount of value with them, right? Let's put our healers down here. I didn't put a Coco Loon because I'm bad. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and get our Warden or our King into that compartment there. We're going to have to kind of pay attention to 2 different things at once here. Okay, let's just invis that. Boom. Okay, and then I'm going to use my remainder of my earthquakes to get the spiky ball to go where I want it to. Okay, you see that? And now both invis sections are pretty much taken care of. If you have a max spiky ball, this will obviously be a lot better because a lot of that other stuff would have gone too. But now watch this. I can use my Queen to snipe that remainder. Oh, terrible. Okay, we're going to get some of the stuff still anyway. But yeah, that's how you can kind of split it up between 2 things. If your spiky ball is maxed, you're going to get all of those defenses except for the ricochet cannon. So that is a big deal, right? And then you don't have to deal with either of the invis sections. My spiky ball on this count's kind of low. So anyway, that's kind of a cool trick that you can do to split your equipment and your earthquake spells up a little bit to get the most amount of value. I mean, I'm telling you, this attack, the potential is like just sky high, but you've got to be pretty good and be able to quickly identify bases and find out exactly where you need to use the earthquakes and stuff. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you guys all of that stuff. So let's go ahead. We're going to get into the like smash after Warden Fireball part of this attack. Really quickly, let me just show you guys. This is the base that we attacked first where I got that sick fireball. I'm going to kind of show you guys what my plan would be like after the fireball has landed and we're at this point in the raid, and I'm going to decide what to do with my army. So, very important, as soon as you launch the fireball and a giant arrow and you use the quakes, zoom out as far as you can. Just whoop, just go right out to the very outside and keep an eye, because you're going to have to kind of watch both heroes at the same time to make sure neither of them die. On this side where the Warden's going, I can see there's not really a whole lot for a little bit that I'm going to have to worry about, right? 5 healers and a unicorn in the Rage Gem. Like, nothing in this area is going to out DPS that. So I don't have to worry about my Warden for a little bit. And we've got this really nice L shape that we like when we're funneling on this side of the base. So what I would do on this attack is I would wait a second for my Warden to get like this building and this building. He's going to step this way just a little bit. And then I would put my King right here with the Root Riders and the E-Titan and wall break him into this section. And we're going to get everybody to go this way together. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to restart this attack and I will show you guys how that works out. And let's go. Okay, we're going to just start this attack over again. We're going to put our Warden down here. Coco Loon always just... Oh, that's not a Coco Loon, or that's not a healer. Always just to be safe. It's better to be safe than sorry. And I'm going to be careful not to put more than 4 balloons down. As I say that, I do it at the same time on this attack because you don't want your warden to be aggroed onto that. We've got the defenses down that I need. We can invis, invis, invis. And we get that spell tower again, just like we did the first time. Again, I'm going to just zoom out. I want to keep an eye on both things to make sure nothing dies. I can send my wall breaker in right now. King is stepping to the left. As soon as this wizard tower dies, I'm going to have my king down so that the king doesn't draw the warden in the direction that I don't want him to go into. Ice golem, all of this stuff here. And I really like the drill with this army because it will keep opening walls and it will stun buildings and all of that good juicy stuff, right? Let's go ahead and get rid of their king. And I'm keeping an eye on both armies still. I'm going to rage right here and put a headhunter down just so that I can kind of watch it, right? And I can use some invis spells or anything on my ward. I'm going to rage him up while he's fighting the queen right now. We're going to put cleanup troops behind everything too because time can be an issue with this army if you're not careful. Let's just invis everybody right here to make sure the root riders open walls. It's like super OP to make the root riders invisible because if they can keep opening walls, you're just going to keep crushing these bases. Okay, the rage tower goes off right there. I'm going to put more cleanup troops down here. We can just open some walls at this point. Let's freeze this ricochet cannon. Oh, I didn't even pay attention to my warden there. That's why you stay zoomed out, right? Don't watch me. I'm bad. Let's keep going. And then, I don't even need my rage or my royal champion probably. It looks like we've got this base pretty much crushed. Nothing else that can really kill all of these rocket balloons because the queen's going to get over the rest of that stuff. But you can just see how good this army is, right? If you can get a massive fireball, the cleanup's actually pretty easy. So we can swag all this stuff, swag on myself. That was easy. And let's go ahead and let's break down another base. Let's talk about maybe kind of some unorthodox bases in terms of like maybe it's not so black and white between what you want to hit with your fireball, right? So on this base, we could go for this scatter shot here. That's going to get the monolith, invis tower, and the clan castle, as well as this expo here. That's actually a pretty good fireball, right? That would be a satisfactory fireball. Absolutely it would. You can also maybe get like this multi-inferno tower or multi-archer tower. You're going to get the inferno, the rage tower, archer, inferno, CC. You're going to get this air defense too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're going to get the air defense too. I mean, it's really a toss-up, right? I mean, both of those fireballs are going to offer you fantastic value. But I would argue that dealing with the clan castle and the raged area is a little bit better for a couple of reasons. One, in this army, you have so many tools to deal with invis towers. You have the fireball, you have the giant arrow, you have the spiky ball on the king. You have, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do to take care of invis sections prematurely before you get there, right? So you don't really have to worry about invis sections nearly as much. 2, this is a less risky fireball in my opinion. I can put my warden kind of down here. All 4 of these buildings can be covered with 1 invis spell. I can just take out a couple of these buildings here. And if I want it to even be less risky, I can even deploy my rocket balloons before I put my warden down and then put my warden down at the last second in order to fireball, right? So this is a very easy, risk-free fireball in order to get this multi-archer tower here. And this scatter shot really is not that hard either. But, I mean, you've got to get this Grand Warden Tower out of the way. You've got to get the monolith handled somehow. There are a bunch of defenses over here. So really, in terms of risk, they're actually pretty similar, to be honest. Let me show you guys here. And then once we get this out, right, we're going to be able to create that L shape with the base that we want again. And what we want to do in order to tackle the town hall after that is we want to trigger the invis, and we want to arrive before the invis resets, right? So we're actually going to have our smash go to the right side of the base and kind of come up. I guess I can draw on the screen. I don't know why I'm moving things around so much. So we're going to fireball, kind of get rid of this whole area here. And then we're going to have our smash kind of come up this way. And then we're going to have, hopefully our warden will kind of go up that way and take care of the eagle and stuff. I don't really know exactly how he's going to path after the fireball, but we want to deal with the invis tower as soon after we've activated it, right? So that it doesn't have time to reset and be really annoying by the time we get there. Let's go ahead and get into this attack. Yeah, let's just get a couple of these defenses out of the way really quickly. Of course, there's a Tesla. I don't even know my own bases, apparently. All right, we're actually going to get rid of that wizard tower too. Oh, that really didn't go down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is... Wow, that didn't go down either. Okay, that will make it go down. Invis, invis, invis. Now let's put our healers down. Hopefully the warden will go to the left. That's what we're hoping for here. And then, yeah, he should after this. He should go to the Expo and then to the Archer Tower. That's perfect because then he's going to get rid of the Eagle, which is really nice. Perfect. That's great. And then we're going to wait just a tad bit longer because I don't want to put my king down and then have the warden follow him. And as long as I can keep my warden alive, time's not really going to be an issue. So let's put our king down now with the Root Riders. We can use a log launcher too if we want. Let's just try that just to show you guys. I mean, the siege machines, that's something I'm going to talk about right after this, is which siege machines you should use. And then I'm still debating on whether I want to put my queen. Let's put the queen down with these guys, actually. We'll trigger that invis now. And let's put some Coco Loons down. That way the healers don't all die. We'll just use our earthquakes right there in the middle just to help get rid of that stuff. And then on this base, I don't know that we're going to be able to swag our Royal Champion. I wish we could. That would be cool. But you can see, I'm looking at our warden. There's nothing up there that scares me. So I'm not going to keep a close eye on him because I'm not worried about him going down right now. Just going to keep an eye on my Royal Champion and my Queen. The warden can kind of handle all of that stuff over there by himself. And I'm just going to let these guys clean up this base down here. We're going to put cleanup troops everywhere. That way I know nothing is, we're not worried about time or anything. This attack is a lot more intimidating than it really is, right? It seems a lot scarier and harder than it really is. It really is not as hard as you think. And I'm going to be able to swag, I think, so many spells on this raid. What am I doing to myself? All right. Let's see. Okay, can we get that Archer Queen? Hopefully. Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I swag a bunch of spells on myself. That seems fun. Look at this. Okay, well, we've got 30 seconds. Might need to rage the warden up just to make sure that things go down. Maybe we'll just put some extra cleanup troops down just to be safe. Yeah, look at that. This attack is so good. I feel like this attack, more so than most attacks, benefits from planning. This attack becomes so much stronger if you can plan for it than like obviously every attack does, but this one is on a much greater degree, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's talk siege machines. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to look at the siege machines. I'm going to pull up a different base, and we are going to talk about which siege machines are the best in which situation and why I use which machine, when and where. If that makes sense. All right, on to the siege machines. This is a question I get asked a lot, and it's a lot more simple than you think. So let's take this base. We're actually going to break down a couple of bases with the siege machines. I'm going to focus more so on the fireball and the siege machines and kind of the technical side of this attack and not so much about the smash. I'm telling you, if you get a good fireball off, the smash is so easy. It really is not very hard. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the smash on this base. So anytime I want to get my fireball to land and hit the town hall, obviously that usually means there are going to be quite a few defenses that need to be taken care of, whether that's through invisibility spells or being destroyed by rocket loons or the warden or whatever it is, right? So the only time I will use a blimp is if I can get massive, I'm talking massive value with my fireball. We've only got a finite number of rocket balloons and invisibility spells, right? And time as well. So you can't warden walk the whole base and then fireball after 5 minutes, right? Because there's not enough time for that. So what I will do is I will blimp sections of the base to make it so there's less defenses that I have to worry about. Now, the only times I will ever do that is if I'm not going to draw the CC. I do not want to draw the CC if I'm going to be using a blimp. So, for example, on this base, I would probably just blimp the Eagle and get all 4 of these out of the way, and it might even get a couple of builder huts or something too with the Yetis. After that, I think the best fireball on this base is going to be this spell tower right here. And that means once the, we'll draw here for a second. We'll plan with the siege machines. Let's just say that the blimp gets this. That means we've got to invis these 3 buildings, these 3 buildings. We can rocket loon here. Invis. Okay, we're going to redo this a little bit. I can do this a little bit more efficiently. Okay, so we need to invis those. We need to invis these 3 things. And we need to invis these 3 things. And then we can invis these 3 things. Okay, so that's a more efficient way to do it. And this is all going to be taken care of from the Yeti blimp, right? And then the closest thing is going to be that tower there. Okay, that was more efficient. So that's why, see, this is why, the one reason why it's more beneficial when you can plan with this attack. It is a little bit tough in Legends League, not gonna lie. Log launchers. The only time I ever use a log launcher, which is not very often, is if I cannot get an invisibility tower or two in the middle of the base next to a town hall or something. And let's just pretend, for example, and you've got to put your log launcher at a safe spot where defenses are not going to hit it. So like if I put my warden down here and I get rid of all of these buildings here, I'm going to like log launch from like this side here as my warden walks this way so that the log launcher has nothing to kill it before it gets to the town hall, right? You want your log launcher to be safe if it's going to have to take care of the invis tower in the town hall. The drill is definitely my most common one that I use, and that's just because it keeps opening walls and it keeps stunning defenses. One of the most annoying defenses that you can deal with in this are like the monolith and the single infernos, and this will stun that and reset the charge from the inferno towers to make it so it's not as good. I do use the siege barracks sometimes if walls are open and I don't have to, and I want to maybe worry about time a little bit because there's going to be a lot of extra cleanup troops like the P.E.K.K.A.s and the wizards. Let's see, what other? I'd never used the wall wrecker, never used the stone slammer. What else is there? Is that it? What other siege machines are there? Flame flinger. I don't use the flame flinger very much either, but you can. It's one more thing that I have to sit and focus on when I've got like my warden alive and my queen alive and my smash and stuff. Like it's just one more thing that I have to worry about, and I very rarely use the flame flinger, and I still have good success. But if you can pull off the flame flinger, obviously that might be the strongest if it can just sit there and get value, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and let's do that plan real quick with the blimp and just see if we can pull that off. Now, when you're doing a blimp, always, always, always use a cocoa loon, because if your blimp doesn't make it over the wall that it needs to, you will be in big trouble. And you can see here, we're still kind of in trouble. We're going to get the eagle, though. We are going to get that whole compartment, which is really nice. Okay, perfect. And then, remember, I can't remember exactly how I plan these invises. Invis, 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 invis. Queen, snipe to town hall. Got it. Okay, now, again, we're going to kind of stay zoomed out. Oh, I need to put my healers on my warden. That's probably a good idea. We're going to stay zoomed out. There is not a whole lot right now that can hurt the warden, so we're going to put our king here, and we're actually going to funnel everybody from this side. Let's put a wall breaker there. I'm actually going to use my king ability now so that it funnels him into the middle, because the spiky ball will do that, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on my warden, keeping an eye on my army. Let's use the last remainder of the cleanup troops and stuff. We're going to rage this area too. Okay, nothing's hurting my warden really yet, and nothing that I need to really worry about. The monolith and the ricochet cannon, I'm probably going to freeze those once we get to that point. Let's do that now. And then let's keep using cocoa loons as we go. If we have extra rocket balloons, that's a great way to use them is like as cocoa loons, right? Because they're not going to really be great at taking down defenses by themselves. So that's a good way to do it. Let's put the royal champion down here, and we're going to have her deal with the heroes on the back end. That way we don't have too much. Oh, I just raged right into the tornado trap. That was genius. Okay, we're going to have the headhunters and the royal champion deal with these heroes down here, and then after that, everything scary is pretty much dead. So let's just go ahead and start putting our cleanup troops down. I don't have as much to swag this time, but this is, I think, a little bit of a trickier base, right? Okay, we're still good, and look how much stuff we've got left, too. We've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of cleanup. We've got 2 heroes really healthy. The queen is still alive and well. So blimp, if you can get massive value with your fireball and you don't have to draw the CC, right? You do not want to use the Yeti blimp if you're going to draw the CC, because it's going to stall up your Yetis. They're not going to get the value you want, and then it's going to head right to your warden, and your warden's going to be stuck on ice golems for 10 years, because that's actually how long it takes him to deal with ice golems. Okay, well, I hope that answers a lot of your questions. This was pretty in-depth, and I don't want this video to be like 45 minutes long and just completely boring. I do live hits with this attack all the time. So if you're interested in seeing me do those hits live where I kind of break it down and watch it in 30 seconds, watch my videos where I do the fireball rocket balloon attack, because there is a lot to it. It's a little bit harder to do with only 30 seconds of planning, but I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. This kind of stuff takes a little bit more time because I have to plan it out and maybe kind of structure the video more so than the live Legends League hits. So if you really appreciate content like this, let me know in the comments. Make sure to comment below what armies you want to see me talk to or talk about next. And we'll go ahead and do that.